Mario Odyssey has 52 captures, but just how many do you actually need to get all moons? Well, let's find out. First of all, to just beat the game, you need the Spark Pylon as it's all throughout it, and obviously Bowser as well. But this has some minor issues. You see, to do this we have to use 2-player mode, which allows you to skip a few of the captures, such as the Golden Chain Jump. The problem with this is that if you do this, you may never get the story moon again, which essentially softlocks your save file from getting all moons. So for that reason, we have to capture the Golden Sherm. You need him to kill the Mecha Wiggler after all. But it turns out that if you're on version 1.1, the multi-moon atop the falls will be given to you automatically after returning, so we don't have to worry about that one. That's it for the story mode though, just 3 captures, so let's get to Darker Side now. Thankfully we can get over 500 moons without having to capture any additional captures, but to beat Darker Side you do need a bunch of captures. How many times did I say capture? Oh my goodness. Never mind, just the frog because you can do a copy return cancel to capture the frogs on the other side and skip Darker Side entirely. That's all there is to the kingdoms in the game, and there's no other major goal, so now let's just remove captures that are obviously required for all moons. Starting with the most obvious one, the rocket. Can you spot the issue? There are a bunch of captures that need to be captured because a moon requires an action from them. For example, the 2 puzzle pieces, which you need to capture to solve the puzzle, the binoculars to spawn the several moons you can get with them, the Shiverian Racer as you need him to even begin the race, or Mario's letters to write his name, and a couple of moons that require you to bring a capture to a certain NPC that would like to inspect them for some reason. The Tropical Wiggler, the Uproot, the Pokio, and both Cheep Cheeps. Let's rapid fire through a few ones. The Glidon is required to get this moon where you glide towards a French sky, Lakido to fish up moons, Yoshi to eat apples, Lava Bubble to beat Kukatil, Knuckletek's Fist to kill, well, Knuckletek, the Gushen to beat Mollusque Lancier, both picture match parts and for obvious reasons, the Goomba for the Lady Goomba moons, the Coin Coffer for the worst moon in the game, the Guy for the RC moons, and that pretty much sums up all the straightforward ones. So for the next few, we'll have to think harder, with some post-game moves too. To start off, let's take a look at the stationary captures. The tree and the cactus cannot be escaped as you need to move them apart to ground pound and get the moons. As per the other ones though, they're a tad bit more interesting. The Bowser statue, for example. At first glance, it might look like you need to capture him to get him out of the way for this moon. But you can do a gate clip, yes, that's the actual name, to get inside and get that moon. This is the only appearance of the statue in the game, which means it's our second skippable capture, the other one being the Golden Chain Jump. And you absolutely do not need him for all moons. Similarly, the boulder doesn't have any moons behind it, so we can skip that one. The manholes, which actually can be skipped by doing a scooter clip, so another one to our books. Might as well add the 2 piranhas here, I mean, you probably didn't even use them in your first playthrough. Other stationary captures are way more interesting cases here. You see, the taxi sub-area entrance isn't activated by driving with the taxi, not at all. The game registered to check if you are inside a capture in this area, so we could for example capture this pole while on this area and it will warp us there. Maybe you noticed the problem already. You need to capture the pole, an otherwise useless capture. So which one do we allow ourselves to capture then? Well, none of them. If you remember back in the rapid fire section, there was a capture also in Metro Kingdom, and no, it's not the RC car I'm talking about, the letters. By doing the letter escape glitch, you can get them out of bounds and enter the sub-area this way. Since we already used the letters anyway, we can eliminate both the taxi and the pole just like that. Then there's also the meat. The dinosaur's meat, I should add. Oh yeah, by the way, you need the T-Rex to murder this pole to get a moon, so he's required. Anyways, the meat is obviously required, I mean, look at that. Nope, never mind, you don't need the meat because you can just climb the mountain. In Mario Odyssey, of course. Gorgonim is one of the few people who have done this, so huge props to him. That means that you can save the T-Rex from being eaten. Well, I mean, he's dead already, but who cares? For the last stationary capture, finally, we have the zipper. But you can also go out of bounds to skip having to open up this zipper to the sub-area. The sub-area itself is entirely possible. All the purple coins are possible by going out of bounds and using 2-player mode, so there's just one more hassle, that being the moon at the end of the hidden passage. It's not easy, but by doing parkour on the walls, this can be done, so the zip stays closed. The pros are here somehow. You would have thought that these guys would have been eliminated a long time ago now, but the amount of stuff you can do to skip them is crazy. You can get the first story moon without him, enter the cheese room and get both moons too. Heck, the use I found for the Hammer Bro isn't even in his prominent food kingdom, no, it's back at Metro, where you need to break a rock here to spawn a moon in the swinging scaffolding sub-area. The Fire Bro is much easier since you need him to light up fires. We also have 2 more captures that are required but not by a long shot. The Jizo is needed even though his sub-area is possible because of the Jizo in a row moon. And the small chain jump, even if his moons can also be exploited, such as the first power moon, the second moon in his sub-area has to be spawned in by them. The last 2 semi-easy to roll out are the Fork, which you need to be, well, forks, and the Bullet Bill, which you need for moons like this one, which I don't know the name of. Then we have our final 7 captures, which are hard to determine. First of all, the big chain jump, which is used for the 2D section. It can be skipped though, and the 2D section reappears after beating the boss anyways. Moai doesn't have any capabilities of his own, he just lets you see invisible walls. He's not required at all. The Parry Dry Bones is only found in the Hexagon sub-area in Bowser's, which is completely possible without captures by using assist mode, and the Moon Cave, where we usually need him to grab the key and go back, but once again assist mode. This brings me to Bonsai Bill, which you need to use to get Fly to the treasure chest and back. Well, up until not long ago, someone found a ridiculous strat where you can make dry bones hover on top of each other and then bounce on them repeatedly. Seriously, who thinks of that? Anyways, is the Bonsai Bill required for anything else? Well, after a thorough research, no, you don't. So thanks to this dry bones hovering method, you remove the Bonsai Bill from being required. Next up, the Charging Chuck, which is useless too. The Taifu unfortunately doesn't follow the pattern, as it's needed to blow this block for this sub-area. Honestly, I don't know why I left him all the way down here, I guess I just forgot. For our last capture, we have the Perigoomba, one of the most interesting ones. There are a total of 8 moons that might give us some trouble here. The only 2 not in Cap Kingdom are those in the Rocket sub-area in Wooded, but they're possible regardless. There are another 3 related to far distances. One of them can be grabbed by jumping from the top. For the other 2, you either do some trick jumps or use the bird to regain your cap bounce and mid-jump. For the Bonnerer Blockade Moon, you can do an assist bubble clip to get it. And for the last and definitely hardest hurdle, the Poison Wave sub-area. Well, you just have to see this for yourself. Perigoomba is not required at all, which is honestly baffling. And this short I made years ago is so wrong.
In Mario Odyssey, there are actually a few captures that aren't required.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
I was missing 5 unnecessary captures and said that Cheepsy wasn't required for some reason. That's a total of 16 total unnecessary captures now. You might think this is the end of the video, and yeah, you would be totally wrong. There's one moon that messes up everything I've worked for, and it's all her fault. This mushroom has a moon that requires us to get 45 captures, but in this video only 36 are needed, so what the heck do I do now? I'd assume you capture those that actually complicate your life, like the meat, the Perigoomba, the Bonsai Bill, Golden Chain Jump, etc. With the boulder too, so you can get those 3 extra purple coins, I guess. There's just no way to deal with this, so if you've got a better answer, feel free to comment. Now it's the true end of the video. I hope that you found this interesting. Thanks for watching.